Hello, this is the start of the 35,000 coop versus 35,000 Ross series that I spoke to you about in my previous video. So what you're going to be watching in this video is a series of setup procedures that I carried out to ensure that birds get a comfortable environment. However, manure cleaning and washing was not included in this video because I had created videos on that already, and I will put the links below. After washing the bands, the next step in preparation for the next batch is disinfection. So once the bands are dry, water has drained out, the entire band is disinfected properly before the band is closed to enjoy its 14 days or 2 weeks downtime. So this greatly limits the chances of microorganisms that can cause diseases in the flock from moving from one flock to the other. After this 14 days downtime, the next most important step is disinfection of the water lines. The reason for this disinfection is because within these 14 days we may have biofumes and pathogenic activities of bacteria trying to multiply in the water lines. Remember, they were closed, the chicks were not in, and water has not been flowing. So this stagnant water needs to be flushed out and the lines properly disinfected. In order to achieve that, I have to prepare a disinfection solution, first reducing the water in the tanks and then putting an appropriate amount of the disinfectant into the water to prepare the solution. And the next step will be to have this solution run through the water lines to clean it, to disinfect it properly, and of course to ensure that clean potable water is running through safe lines into the bands. Lowering the water lines during flushing enables the water to flow freely through gravity or through static pressure, so the water moves freely. So after lowering the water lines, I have to connect them to the main pipe supplying the bands and then open up the water to get into the water lines. While at the other end of the water lines, I have to connect additional extensions to ensure that the water that is being flushed through the water lines goes out of the bands. At this point, let me take you outside to show you the quality of water I'm talking about. So you see how dirty it is. It has been in there for 14 days. There's been a lot of activity within, bacteria, biofumes and all the rest. This is not good for new chicks. Now once I see this foamy activity on the water, it tells me that the treatment is within the water lines. So I'm going to shut them and put them up and allow them to stay within for 2 days. While the treatment is in the water lines, I get my wood shavings. Whoop! Because I want my litter or bedding material on the floor dry, once I receive it, I put it into the bands as fast as possible, especially in wet seasons because wet litter is a no-no. So once in, the next step is to make sure that it is evenly distributed within the band. And in order to ensure that this is evenly distributed, I have to make mounds at even distances or equal distances within this band until the wood shavings are finished. This is the only way you can guarantee that you have distributed it evenly within the band. Also, we will discuss about the depth or the thickness of your wood shavings on the floor as we proceed in this video. As you must have noticed if you are a farmer that this is one of the most demanding tasks when setting up your poultry plants. It's a time-consuming exercise. So this is completed. Let's move to the next step. Spreading the wood shavings to ensure that the entire floor is covered. And what is very unique about this process is that you have to ensure that the wood shavings are at least 2 centimeters high, at least to protect your chicks from bare floor. So you have to make sure that the thickness of the wood shavings is at least 2 centimeters. It's very important to use the best quality litter that you can find or that you can lay your hands on. So once I'm done with the wood shavings in a particular band, I proceed with another disinfection because I don't know the source of the wood shavings. It could carry microorganisms or pathogens that can cause disease or harm to my chicks. So I have to disinfect the entire band again, but this time with a fogger. And remember this, that each time that I am disinfecting the bands, the inlets and the doors are all shut, so the band is treated like a vacuum with everywhere closed to ensure that the disinfection is effective. last time, it is now very safe for me to go in and start placing my feed lines. Placing supplementary feed lines enables chicks to get access to feed without stress. However, after the first week, they will get used to feeding on the main feed lines. But until then, I have to place supplementary feed lines using these papers so that they can feed comfortably. Also, the good thing about these papers is that after 1 week or 7 days, when they must have consumed all the feed, this paper will disintegrate. It will disappear into the litter. So this is one reason why I love using them. Now that I'm done with the paper, the next thing is to get the crumbles on them as soon as possible. So we will discuss about the size of the crumble and the quality, how you should assess it when you first receive your starter feed. For a start, I always prefer to place a few lines first so that I can use the machine, and later on I can finish with the wheelbarrow. So now that I'm done with the complementary feed lines, the next thing is to get down my main feed lines. But first, let's look at the feed quality. You are expected to assess the feed quality that you receive. The crumble size is very important. Make sure that it is between 2 and 3 millimeters. So it's very important for the young chicks. It's equally good to scent the feed to make sure that it's not fermented or fungus on it. Once everything is good, I get my main feed lines down and I mount the feeders on them so that I can have feed into the plates as well. These are the feeders that are mounting. Feed moves from the main silo into these feeders, and from these feeders it is distributed into the plates. The feeders have also got a sensor that is to prevent feed from spilling. Once I'm done with the feed lines, I go ahead to lower the water lines and I flush out the treatment that has been within the water lines, then rinse them.
So one day the chicks placement, you must have concluded the preparation of your brooding area. And this must not be exactly like this, but it should be similar to this in qualities. You notice I have lowered the feed lines, the main feed lines, down to the level where my chicks can get access to feed. You also notice I have lowered the water lines down to 2 centimeters from the floor. Also, I have my sensors all down to knee level. And I have now the bag properly heated. Heating should be done 2 days to chick placement. So this is the second day of heating this bag. My scale is now down. And you have to put your scale down and calibrate it a day before chick placement. Few things I would like you to notice about the duration of brooding area. You will notice that the length of my supplementary lines ends with my fences. These are my brooding fences. I like to brood the chick in this area. And after 7 days, these supplementary lines will be gone. They would have consumed the feed that we have in this supplementary lines. And they will now adapt to feeding on my main feed lines. By 2 weeks, they would have outgrown this brooding area, and we will have to open the fences and have them now widely spread within the bag. So, having them widely spread within the bag will not be a problem for us because they have adapted to feeding on our main feed lines, and our main feed lines run up the entire bag. I place my brooding barrier right next to the sensor. This is a sensor I'm using for my feed lines. So behind, I'm not going to have it. Once the feed is coming from behind and it gets in contact with this sensor, it stops. If there is any shortage of feed within my plates, feed keeps coming. And once it gets here, it stops. So I have my fences next to my sensor, feed sensors. I have also the second sensor on the motors in front. So I'm not using the second sensor. I set it on the first sensor. So it counts and it stops right here. I don't want to put feed on the plates behind my brooding area. Nobody is going to consume it. They are all going to be concentrated here. They're going to eat here and they will grow here until they're 2 weeks. And then they can spread all over. And at 2 weeks, they are not consuming starter feed. So if I let starter feed get feed into my plates out of my brooding area, that is waste. My plates have been filled to the roof. I don't expect chicks to try to jump to get feed with it. So it has to be filled to the roof. It has to be down and flat. This is not the moment where you raise your feed hands. These chicks are down, so they have to be able to feed without stress. If you notice, my water lines are at least 2
So the chicks are finally here and their new home is ready. They left the incubators straight to the farm. They will be spending their first day in the farm. So that's how the brooding area is set up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.